Hello and happy Tuesday. I've been wanting to make a video about my intellectual disability. Now mine is a mild case, but I also have cerebral palsy as well. Even though when I was a little kid, I was unaware that I had intellectual disabilities because I had a little bit of a delay in my speech as a baby, and I started talking at age 2 and age 3, which is getting a little better. But I started acting out, which all the other kids do normally at those ages. Especially at age 5, I would throw frequent temper tantrums in school because I didn't get anything I wanted. So as I turned age 6 or 7, sorry, this thing I was holding. Do you like my game thingy? Sorry, I hope that didn't distract you guys. As I was saying, as a teen, as I went to age 6 or 7, I was going to Walmart or Kmart or whatever store I was going to with my mom when I was younger. I started liking vacuum cleaners when I was a little boy, and I wanted one, but we were there for something else, and I threw a big tantrum over it, and my mom was like, if you don't stop throwing a temper tantrum, I have no choice but to take you out of this store. But I just kept on with it, and I ignored her warning, and I didn't mean to, but she gave me a chance. Then she had to take me out of the store because of my tantrum episode that I was having. Speaking of temper tantrums, I would throw temper tantrums at home, temper tantrums at school. It was just a little bit of a disaster in my life. Also, I was bullied when I was a lot younger due to my disabilities, and I cared that I got bullied when I was a kid. But as I grew older, as of now, I knew that I don't care what people think of me anymore because they should go find less because they were bullies. Because I don't forgive them for what they have done to me when I was a young child. And a person with intellectual disabilities, along with CP or cerebral palsy or any other condition, should never have to go through that because that's horrible for a person to go through. Even though during the COVID pandemic, I suffered through mental health issues. During the 2020 pandemic lockdown, it was really rough for me, and I didn't know how to handle it due to my intellectual impairment problems. Even though my intellectual impairment or disorder was confused for, which I confused it for as if it was autism or mental retardation, which it's not called that anymore because it's an inappropriate word to label it as. But I'm so glad it's called intellectual disabilities, and I'm proud to have it. But I don't care what people think of me because I'm happy to be who I am, and I'm glad to make some improvements in my life. Plus, I'm gonna make a podcast someday, maybe own my own house, or just maybe start a family someday. Even though I'm a proud young man and I can do this, and I just don't let my disabilities bring me down anymore. And I also have anxieties with it, and possibly a little bit of sensory issues because I'm afraid of loud noises and everything, etc. Which is kind of weird. Which is sensory overstimulation, which that I used to be afraid of fire drills as a kid, and I would have to use noise canceling headphones to block the noise because I would be afraid of it. But as I grew older, I had to get used to it, so I cared less about the noise and just went on with it. As I graduated school, I just got over the fear of fire drills. But I used to be a little bit scared of tornado drills too, but those things are the best because I can listen to the tornado sirens. They're not as loud as the red fire alarms in school, if you know what I mean. With that being said, intellectual disabilities can also be mistaken for attention deficit disorder, which is hyperactivity disorder. And it can also be classified as ADD, which is attention deficit disorder, which is also known as ADHD. Now, people with ADHD can also have overstimulation as well as loud noises, have sensitive to touch, being sensitive to light, and sensitive to some blacktops or gravel, which is garment tags as well. And also behavioral problems such as intellectual disability as well as autism spectrum disorders, if you know what I mean. With that being said, as a kid, me and my mom had a up and down relationship because I was being called a brat, which that should never be okay. And my mom never knew why I was struggling so much with my behavior when I was a kid. I wish I could have asked her for help, but some parents wait until their child is diagnosed with the actual intellectual disability. After I was diagnosed, my mom felt guilty about all those times she called me a brat, including my grandmother. I had ups and downs with my grandma too, but I still love my grandma and mom either way. Even though they know what's best for me. Even though all kids grow up different, whether you have intellectual disability or autism or ADHD, you're still the special person to your parents or guardians or whatever relatives. Either way, you're still loved. And parents and grandparents and whatever relatives do make mistakes. And so does children. Not everyone is perfect. My symptoms of intellectual disability is difficulty with reasoning, thinking, conceptual skills, and a little bit of social norms, and a little bit of sensory issues. But I did have a little bit of behavioral problems as an adult, but that's improving. And I also struggle with a little bit of social cues. And although people with intellectual disabilities should never be treated different, people should be treated equally in respect and irregularity, and also never be taken advantage of, because that's not okay. So, I know this was a lot to say, but hopefully we can learn and spread awareness about people with intellectual disabilities like mine. And hopefully you can subscribe to my channel and become friends with me. And you can tell me about your experience with intellectual disabilities. In which case, mine is mild, and maybe you could share mine. Also, I had another symptom of intellectual disabilities, which kind of max autism in a way, which is routine and change that happens to me. Speaking of that, of routine changes, that before my little sister was born, I couldn't handle the change because of my behavioral disorder. When I knew my mom was pregnant, I started crying. And I didn't know that I was going to have a sister, and I didn't know how I was going to handle it. It was so much to take in, even though I got used to my sister afterwards. Because me and my little sister grew up together. But I used to think she was annoying, but my little sister is my best friend. And I will never let her down because she's my world and she's like my favorite person. You know, she will help me as I grow older. But now in this day of age, she's in middle school now, and me and her can share ideas together and share interests and ideas because any sibling can be our best friend either way. Even though we're struggling, we're, you know, us adults with disabilities out there are struggling with a little bit of a mental impairment. So let's not make this easy on ourselves in hand. So in our idea of this, we could believe what we can achieve to achieve our goals and do what we can to make things better for us. I want to thank everyone for watching this video. Peace out. Hopefully I can get more subscribers and friends on here for this. See you in the next video. Peace out. Thank you for your time.